All right, good morning, everyone. I am in Dark Pool Algo, and thanks for joining me on another Morning Watches building session. Come on. What is up with this? It's got me stuck with the wrong chat. How do I get into this? So it's not letting me sign in with my correct account. I don't know why. I really don't. Let's see if I can get it figured out. Anyway, good morning. Craziness is happening with my news source. My news source is no longer valid, and it's frustrating. Let's see. Let's try this one more time. Let's see if I can get sign in. Open web browser. Yeah, it's not letting me get in with the right account. All right, so once again, we will be able to see your messages, but I'm not going to be able to let's see if that works. Let's try that. Oh, dang it. Nothing I can do. All right, so I can see your messages, but I won't be able to. I'm not going to be able to respond to them. Sorry. All right, let's get into it. So my news source is not working any longer, so we're just going to have to go through this like we know what we're doing. Very interesting day yesterday. Let's look at the dailies. All right, so remember that little line in the sand that I had, that 237? Well, we dipped down below it, but we closed above it. So technically, we haven't broken the trend yet. Technically, we can still move back up. Now, there's a couple things that can happen. Let me see if I can find my candlestick chart here. Reversal pattern. All right, so one of two things is going to happen. We have a possible piercing pattern reversal. That's what this looks like here, right? Piercing pattern. This would be the piercing pattern, right? Let's see if I can find the other one. I'll have my bearish charts up. Dang it. All right. I think piercing pattern is probably the closest that we're going to get, right? That looks pretty good. So entry would be above this previous low. So we haven't made it there yet, but we're looking at it. Okay, so let's just see what we got going on here. Okay, yes, on the daily. Has the structure changed? Possibly. Let's see if the 4 hour gives us a little bit more of a clue. Big down, a little bit of an up. We haven't really retested the 21 on the 4 hour yet. We did get above that skyline. The 21, probably the target for the day. I don't know. It's It's kind of tough. Ooh, I'm tired. All right, give me a second. Morning, Grant. Thailand, huh? Sweet. Let's look at the 30-minute. Come on, load up. There we go. All right, so what happened overnight? So big down day yesterday. We did cross back up above the 50. We got a 2150 crossover. We can chop in this here? Yeah, this is like, again, let's ride the 50, right? As long as the structure remains the same and we're above the 50 day on the 30-minute, we can go bullish up to retest the 200, right? I'd like to get back above the 21 for a little bit easier of a move back up, but really the line in the sand is this 42.68, right? We start breaking down below that, and if the 21 breaks down, then we can come back down to previous lows. 4,200 to the downside, upside move 43.61, taking some profit at 43.20. Okay, I'm not going to do anything until we can get out of this there's a little micro supply zone here. It's a very small one that runs there. We can also chop in here very easily. So definitely keep an eye on what happens at this 50-day, right? 42.68. So if you want to pull up the ES and see where it comes down, stops, we got a little tweezer bottom right here, comes back up, rejects the 21, and we're going to squeeze the 21. The 29.50 are going to squeeze together, and price action is going to pop out one side or the other and then just rip whatever direction it pops out. Okay. All right, looking at the Nasdaq, the old tech-heavy Nasdaq. Well, we came down and we kissed our massive supply zone and our demand zone, but we did close below that snow line, but we're opening up above it. Remember that pattern I just showed you? That piercing pattern could be a reversal. So we've got a big rally up to the 2150 on the daily. Like there's a big move there, right? That's just a ripper, right? I think we have more upside potential than we do down at this point. So I will definitely be watching AMD and Nvidia. I mean, my levels are fire, y'all. Jeez, look at that. All right, so down and up and down. If you want to draw a line, 13,613.50. Let's just do this here. All right. So we're retesting the 21. If we get above the 21, we're going to quickly move up to the 50-day at 13,831 and test that. Now, we have the potential to reject this 21-day and move further down, right? Obviously, we got to look at both sides. Down to support 13,13228, right? If we start trading down into this little zone here that I created, right? That'll be pretty easy to see. Okay. So if we take out previous lows at 13180, we can move quickly down to 12853. I mean, this just looks super bearish in my opinion, right? We've got a downward facing 21 and downward facing 50 and a flat 200. From a 30-minute perspective, come on, load up. There we go. Came down, finally got a 2150 crossover, up, pulling back, testing that level for support, right? Ride the 2150 up to the 200, right? There's that little zone right there. Ride it up to there, and if we can get above it, then we can get super bullish and get a nice move to the upside. If we reject this 30-minute level here, right, or if we break down below here, then we need to look at the next downside leg, right, which would be 13,000, 1290, right, 12,900. So either today or tomorrow, we will be retesting that 20 or that 200 day. Okay. So far, we're above the 21, above the 50, so we can move up. Look for the what did I do here? There we go. Trying to make it so y'all can see what's going on. There we go. A little bit better view there. We can very easily just chop back and forth here too. Ride that 50 up, 200 test. All right, moving on to the Dilly Dally Daily Dow. What's going on with the Dow? All right. That definitely looks like that piercing pattern that I showed you earlier. I don't have it saved, but get rid of all this junk. All right, we fell out through to the fire line. Fire line held. We closed above it. We are below the 50, the 21, and the 200, right? This looks like a possible, right, one of these kind of deals here. Something like that. I'm staying away from the Dow until we can get let's look at the 4 hour. Maybe that 4 hour gives us a clue. All right. 21 200 cross down, that's bearish. This 50 200, if the 50 bounces and moves up and the 21 continues to move up, it may pull price up to retest the 200 and the 50, right? If we get a downturn where the 50 crosses down below the 200, then yes, we're going to go make a new low, right? Giving up this 4 hour 200 is a big deal, right? This is a rally to the 21 and we short the crap out of it, right? Come on, there we go. See how this 50 crossed down below the 200 and we dropped? Well, I'm looking for that to happen on the 4 hour. So this is just a little bit of a rally up to the 21 before we send off another move to the downside, okay? Contrarian. We can get back above, hold on one second, let me go turn that down. Contrarian, we get back above. That's a big move. That's a lot. So 34,500 is kind of like the, let's get above it on the 30-minute and then we can be bullish again. Currently, we're just retesting the 21. So I don't know what, let's hold on. Let me see if I can find. Okay, Apple, Caterpillar, shall run Microsoft. All right, that makes sense. So keep an eye on those guys. So we're going to retest 34,132. Above that, 34317, 34421. That's a lot of resistance, overhead resistance, where the path below is way less complicated. So this definitely looks like a bearish position. All right. Next up is the old red-headed Russell. Let's see what the Russell's doing. All right, on the daily, the snow line's super powerful. We came down, we kissed it. This is, God, that is spot on. Look at this sucker here. One more time. I mean, that's pretty much it. So we're gonna move that off to the side. All right. Again, we did get a 2150 cross down, so be on the daily, so be aware on that. Negatively stacked moving averages, right? This all looks very, very bearish. So above 1962, let's just say above 1963, we get a move up to 1992 before we retest the 50. If we get above the 50, we have the 200 overhead at 2028. This just looks like a down, up, down. So short the 21, right? They're selling this 1962. It'll be really easy to find out, right? If we can't start getting closed above 1969, there's going to be a move back down to first step would be 1913, 1886, 1867, then down to 1838. The key is if we break below 1885, 86, right? This little level here, we start breaking down below that, it's going to get, it's going to take the bottom out. It's going to drop the bottom out of everything. Okay. All right. So this could be a bear trap as well, right? We could get up here and bears could come in. Bears think that they're going to short the 21, where bulls could come in and overtake it and trap all the bears down here. So just be careful, right? All right, 30-minute, we're above the 21, above the 50. We're going to retest the 200. This looks very similar across the board to everything else on the 30-minute, right? So the premise remains the same. If we can keep the 30-minute 2150 move up, we start giving up that ghost, right? We start giving up that 50-day. We got downside targets. Okay. All right, next up is gold. So this is super interesting. This is a big move down, right? Big move down. This is what happens when you give up the 2150, right? So gold is trying to, like, we have a 2150 crossover, but the 50, right, and the 200 is still very forcefully pointing down. But this is more of a low, or higher highs and higher lows, methodical move back up to retest the 200. There's some trading zones. My levels are off on this, so don't pay attention to this green line as much as it should. So we got a 2150 crossover, right? We're really fighting to keep that 21. The 50 will start crossing up, and look to make, a slow grind back up towards 1920, 1925, right? Potential to move to 1933. But if we go up this 21, our 50 is going to drag us down. I'm interested in this because typically when, I mean, this is a big move down, right? Wedge breakout, rip, failure. Like the last time we were here was end of March. Every 15 days, it seems. All right, crude. What happened here? Well, this is what happens when you hit a Head and Shoulders. Very interesting reversal pattern here. Up, back up, failure. And now we're trying to rip back through. If I were to run a fib extension from this low to this high, back down to this low, we pull back right to the 382, and now we're moving up. So crude 101.50, 101.70, 101.99. So this is gonna be my upward target right here. Definitely think we hit that today. Bonds. So this is TLT. Remember I said TLT had, like, it hit that tree line, right? And when it hit that tree line, it never looked back. Up and back and up and back and up. Next target could possibly be 144. 144.26, right? No, this isn't a cup and handle. This is just a reversal from a daily perspective. Get rid of this guy here. So I'm trying to see if I can get any sort of a hint. We are at a pretty significant supply zone right now. We made a higher low. Yeah. We could easily chop in between this range, but yeah, it looks like bonds are going to be up today, which is interesting because if bonds are up, usually the ES is down. So just keep a close eye on it. And then finally, the old yen, which has, right, see this move right here on the yen where it comes down and it rips up and then it sends us way back down. That's a lot different looking than what we've got going on, right? We've got a little bit of support underneath this on the lower time frames. So how much further can they push the yen down? Not much. This looks like maybe another retest of the 21, or it's going to be a reversal point here. Okay. All right. Now, what did I do? Throw this up in 3 minutes. These little intraday moves, right? Have us bearish as all get out. Remember, bottom row down, top row, or yeah, bottom row down, top row up is good. Bottom row up, top row down. Okay. We haven't been able to overtake the 3 minute, 50 or 200, right? So our secondary cycles that are quick and fast are not able to overtake some key levels here. The Nasdaq looks like it's trying to. But it looks pretty much the same across the board, right? Okay. Tweeter. Old Elon did a thing that he did. He pinned them. I don't think they're going to get much higher than where they're at now. So I'm just going to stay away from Twitter. Now, if you wanted to play something fun, you could go play Dwack, which is getting crushed. Right? Getting crushed. So Dwack below 36, we see a move back down to 33, right? It's got to do, I mean, there's just, yeah, I mean, there's just not enough. I don't think there's enough juice to get it back to a healthy position, right? Negatively stacked moving averages at the bottom of the weekly cloud, stuck in the 4-hour bottom. Any sort of a move would only be up to the daily cloud 4-hour mid at 41, right? Which is a 21-day before we get a rejection and move back down. So if we get a rip to 40, 41, let's just say 41 or 42, look for them to sell this to push it even lower. This big doji candle here is the only thing that's got me like, wow, there's a lot of buying pressure down here, right? So, all right, I don't have a big list to get through. So let me just go through our daily watch, and then we will get into, I gotta show all these, and then we'll get into your requests. All right, I'm really torn between these two setups here, right? I don't think I have extended out. And did it again tonight. I don't think I have extended hours on this one, but I do on this one. So we'll run through these really quickly. All right, Apple. Right, little tweezer bottom. This was the move to catch. We're going up. We pulled back. We've got a 30-minute 200 at, God, that's just perfect. Look at this. Right there. So if we can take out 163.50, I think we have a move to 164.50 before we hit another key level of resistance. If we can close above that, then it's an easy move back up to some of these 167, 168s, right? Contrarian, we rallied up, right? We're below the 21, stuck in between the 50 and the 200. So our support today is going to be coming in at approximately 161.50. Below that, we have support at 160.85. If we give that up, it's going to be a quick move back down to 158.50. Okay. This is kind of looking like it's setting up for a chop. But like until we can clear the 30-minute 200, right? Which is like close above it. This is chop, 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 chop. One direction or another, right? See how these are flat and we chopped? See this? Yeah, it's just ugly. ugly. All right, next is AMD. Another one of those where we've got pretty clearly defined zone here, right? The 200-day is at 92.50, right? Above 92.50. We have a move back up to about 97, right? I think that that fire line would pull us up. If we reject, man. Do I think we can move up and take out some of these previous highs, right? There's something at this level here that's stopping us, right? There's something at like 91.34 that is just stuffing us because we hit it, rejected it, hit it, rejected it, hit it, rejected it, couldn't quite get to it. We do have stacked, we're above the 21, above the 50. We cleared, if we can clear that 92.34 immediately, we're going to retest 91.88 and then try to get back above the 200. Are there bears sitting here getting ready to sell and push us back down? Kind of a rounded head, inverse head and shoulders. There's definitely something there. Personally, I'm going to wait till we get above the 30-minute 200 to go long until, you know, we could just chop for the next couple days. Chop, 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 until the 21 crosses up above the 50 or 200 and the 50 retests the 200. So yeah, it's just going to be, all right, you're going to see this across the board, right? Just how close is price to the 200-day, right? That's the key, right? Big rejection, right? Got smacked down right there. So Nvidia, all right, we're held to 21. We've got the 50 below us. So immediate, I would see 201. You know, that key 200, 201 psychological level, which is also a snow line. Above that, we get moved up to 203, 205, 207.75. That's going to be, I think Nvidia has that move set up in it ready for today. So I'm going to be looking at Nvidia 210s, right? And then as far as puts go, the 195s, 210 calls, 195 puts. I know that's a big range. But I think we get some quick movements up. Nvidia looks pretty strong here. All right, the Tesseract. So do you think Tesla's going to rip based on Elon owning Twitter? Right? Let's try this one. Oh, that was the wrong one. Sorry, I'm trying to find. Yeah, that's better. That's better. All right, so for our there we go. Tesla is above the 200, right? Everything else we've seen has been below the 200. So we've got the 50, 200. They're going to squeeze together, and we're going to get we're going to get a movement outside of that. Right now, we're just kind of chilling. I'm sorry, that was a 4. So a 30-minute chart. Come on, load up. There we go. Tesla's 200 is right here at 1010 basically is a 200. So above 1010, then it's super juicy up to about 1100, right? So if we can clear 1010, I would look at the 1050, 1100 calls, right? If we start getting closes below this 50-day, the 2150 day, basically below 990, we're going to get a quick flush to 960, and then I think that's it, really. Hopefully y'all can see those levels. I haven't drawn them on here, but they're pretty clearly defined. So below below 992, we get a move down to 960, right? Above above 1010, we start taking out some of these previous highs, 1050, and then 1092, right? I can afford the 1100s. I can't afford the, in the money ones. But there it is. Ride the 21. Can we just chop here for days? Absolutely. We can just chop between, the $20 range, but it's going to if it gets out one side or the other, then it's going to move. This trend line's not really valid. I mean, it could be. Right. I'd prefer to give it a little bit of time. Okay, next up on the list would be Square. I've been studying Square for the last couple of days. Just I want to learn how it moves. It's got an opportunity to make some big moves, right? This big old bull flag that's formed yesterday, we got stuffed by the 200. This is what I mean by that. 200 is super powerful. So, Square, I like the 10 or the. Hold on. So long above 108, 110 is going to be a pretty quick move up, right? If we reject that, right, move up, reject back test 108. This pullback to 108, like if we get this move today, right, let's see, we get something like this maybe. Or well, currently we're below the 21, so until we can get back above the 200, so until we get above 108.50, we can just chop. So 108.50, 110, right? And then below 105, I think we move back down to the 102, 100 level. But this 21 move up, right? If we can get the 21 to cross above the 200, the 110 is easy to see. If we chop right here, we can easily do that until the 50 retests the 200. Currently, we are below the 21, so we can move down. We do have support. We have tree line support at 105. Probably open probably open with a quick pop to retest that 200 and maybe reject, come down, find the support of the 50, and then grind our way through that. Contrarian, if we give up the 50-day, right, and and we give up 105.50, then 104, 103, 102, 100. This looks pretty good. Little bull flag breakout. All right, I haven't traded square, so I have to get used to the way it moves first. All right, and then the SPY. Just real quickly, the SPY that we had a 21.50 cross up overnight, which is good. We're currently trading on the 21. We've got the 50-day for support at 425 or 424. Yeah, 425. We got resistance at 429. So above 429, we get a move to 434 and possibly 436. Right? You see that above this green line? We move to the snow line. If we cannot get above that, we can consolidate here between the 50 and the snow line, right? Supports 423 below that. I think we make a new low. All right, so the SPY should be pretty interesting. Like I said, it hit this 429 level, right? Retested the 21, real quick bump up to 429, couldn't get above it, and now we're trading down to 424, right? Do we open here and then rip up? Should be really easy to see once we get opened. The QQQ, kind of the same situation. We had a 21.50 cross up and overnight. Like I said, we've got a pretty clearly defined line in the sand at 329, right? Right, so above 330 or 329 for a move to 332 and then 336, right? Contrarian, we break down below 327. We have support at 326. Below that, we make new low, right? 322. Pretty easy to see that once you get used to what those moving averages are doing, okay, right? And then finally, SPX, right? This looks pretty good. Right, pretty good. Pull back to the 21 for support. We filled the gap back up. Magnet at 43.50, right? Just keep an eye on let's keep an eye on this level here. $43.13, right? If we hit that and pull back, test the 21 for support, getting in off of that pullback, right, should be a pretty easy move up to 43.50. Wait for the pullback and try to move up, okay? Big move down, big move up. There is a supply zone right here, so don't get fooled. Do not get fooled into, wait till we get out of that or we get below it. Okay. All right, let's get into your plays. What you see in front of you is the Smart Money Dark Pool Block Trade algorithm software provided by FlowTrade. What button is best on those? All right. So the Flow Index algo tracks large institutions, hedge funds, smart money, dark pools, and block trades. That's this purple line you see here. Green bars are price action. Okay. So with Amazon, they've been net buying into Amazon since March 14th, right? They're buying into it, buying into it, buying into it, right? Oh, my headache. So Amazon failed and started selling off. So they're buying into this position as it's pulling back. So we've got divergence that's been created at about right, 32.50. But if you look, some of these micro divergences have already traded. Oh, wow. Sorry about that. That's interesting. It's got a weird old headache. What was I saying? Oh. There we go. So red lines across the screen is regular block trades. These blue lines that you don't see on Amazon are dark pool block trades, and white lines are a fun time. But basically what that means is a white line is when a regular and a dark pool print at the same location, it shows up as white. I use those as major influx areas. Draw a line on your chart, see what happens when price action interacts with them. Okay, so yesterday, big down day for Amazon, right? Maybe a little choppy day. So Amazon is trying to make its way back up. This is a big pulling up, right? It's a big move up on the flow index, right? Trading 1-to-1 with price action, dark pool or regular block trade to regular block trade. So Amazon above, 29.25. Then we start making those moves back up to 3,000. Is this a cup and handle it's forming? Could very possibly be. If we can't clear that 29.22, we have support, pull back to 28.87, and then the next move up, right? Looks pretty bullish. All right, into your requests. Good morning, Orlando, Terry, Johnny, Grant. What's up from Thailand? Interesting. What's up, Wait, Ricky, and Nardboy? How are you? All right, so let's look at Tesla, CLF, Roku, not Toku, Roku, and Draftkings. Haven't heard of them in a while. Right. Alrighty. The test rack we just went through. CLF is interesting. Either we get a rejection here and we set up for a big move back down to 24, right? Or we start getting a couple closes above 27 or above 28 for a move to 29, 29.50, and then this white line level up here at 31. This looks bearish to me. Just anytime we get a big sell-off and a retracement and then another move down. All right, so we sold off, we came back, we retested the 13, and we're just chilling here at the daily cloud. So any sort of a move up to about, that would be a big move. Where's the 4 hour? All right, so let's see. We're the 4 hour bottom, so maybe a move up from 28 to 29.50 area. We do have the 5200 over here at 30, so I don't think we get much above 30. Negatively stacked moving averages, however, their 50-day is rising, so it could melt us up to 29.50. The safe move, like, I would have to wait for quite a while for the safe move, right? Contrarian, we start taking out 27.47, we get a flush down to 27. Below 27 is when it gets real sketchy. Earnings was yesterday, last week. Pretty decent earnings, but they still sold off. Yeah. The flow index, though, is trading 1-to-1 with price right now, right? The flow index price comes down and starts going back up. All right, next up is Roku. So Roku, it's trading 1-to-1 with price, right? There's not like, oh, we've got divergence, right? Follow price. It's just moving with the flow index. We have a regular block trade at 101.41. I think if we take out 103, we get a quick move up to about 106, 107. Watch what happens when the flow index gets up to previous highs. It could pull price action up with us. Contrarian, if we reject this level and come down, remember, price action is trading with the flow index 1-to-1, right? All right, big move up, big move down. So yes, this is just a big mega, like, I think Roku has potential, but I don't know if it's going to happen today. All right, and then Draftkings. All right, so Draftkings right off of a regular and dark pool support at $13.97, right? $13.97, $14. You got resistance at $14.68. All right, if it can close above that, I think the flow index will pull it up. Keep an eye on. And keep an eye on overhead resistance. What? Looks like a wedge breakout to me. This looks like a lot like a Russell, right? So if the flow index rejects here, it could pull back, and this would be the pullback, and then it's just squeezing itself together, right? So I'd say long above, 15, 15, 15, 15, 16, 16, 16, 50. All right, and then finally, Nvidia. By far, Nvidia looks the best to me from what I've seen so far, right? Flow index is trading 1-to-1. We have regular and dark pool levels, right? We have a separation, and the flow index will start making higher highs and higher lows. 199, 200, and 203 are those levels on the way up. Above 203, we get a pretty decent move back up to like 210, 213, right? The flow index can drag price up through this regular and dark pool level to do that. Any rally pullback support, rally is what I'm going to be looking for, right? There is 204.45 is kind of like the line in the sand. Right? Rejected it once, rejected it twice. Flow index is coming up to it now. Does it reject it and continue to pull price down with it? I like Nvidia so far the best. So we're looking at 4-hour bottom, 4-hour mid, 4-hour top. So 4-hour bottom is at 195, 4-hour mid's 205, 4-hour top is 215. We rallied up to the 13 and we rejected it. Right. The 21-day, the 4-hour 21-day is at 205. The 34 is at 211, and that's the daily bottom. So do we get a move up out of the weekly cloud, back test, right? I think that's what it's doing now, up, back testing for support. That 4-hour 21 at 204.91 is tough, right? Because we hit it once, rejected it, squeezed into it, rejected it, rallied, rejection, right? We are at the monthly mid, coming in at 195. Below that, we have a move to 185. If we take out 185, right? We flushed down to 178 really quickly. Below that, it just gets super sketchy. The last time we hit 178 was June of last year, right? We did get it. Look at this 4-hour. Right, so see what happens when the 50 crosses down below the 200, right? Rejection, big move down. Do we get one more big move down? Possibly. So the weekly bottom 185 gives out, then we don't really have anything down to the monthly bottom at 123. 210. I'm gonna look at the 225 calls and just try to get 30 or 40 cents out of them, right? But that's pretty nasty there, Nvidia. Pretty nasty. $200, 204, right? Reject that, back down to 195. Yeah. Pretty nasty. All right, that's it. I gotta run. Thanks for joining me. I will. I gotta run. I will talk with y'all tomorrow. I'm still looking for a news source. AMD, right? Kind of the same deal. We're at the 21. Do we reject it and come back down to 88, 87? Or do we get a little bit of a rally back up to 95? Above 95, and it's pretty juicy move back up. But we will see. Is this right? Gave up 200, gave up 200. We're going to be retesting the 200 again at 93.25. 93.25 is going to be the retest. Above that, we get a quick rip to 95, 96. And if we can start getting closes above this 250, then it's super bullish. Okay, I'm out. Stay safe, stay green. Have a great day. I will see you all tomorrow.